block data. Was it text 3, I believe? Magma cube. I didn't think of the name. Magma cube. There we go. Attach that to the sign. And then the ocelot. They attack chickens now? Is that a 1.8 thing? Did they attack chickens now? Did not know that. That is significantly bigger. Also pretty big compared to the magma cube. And let's see, pig, come in here. Smaller than that. Let me go ahead and separate these guys off just a bit better. Chicken. Alright, also it's definitely bigger than the chicken, but it's smaller than the pig or the sheep. And bigger than the magma cube. Yeah, I didn't know either until that just happened. So I'm going to have to put another sign up here for ocelots. Top down for counting things. So, for example, these could be the highest points. Over here would be the lowest points. And I would prefer only the small magma cubes. For the slimes, that's what the small one looks like. It looks like an identical hitbox to the magma cube. The medium one is definitely pretty big, though. Let's see, would that be bigger than the sheep? Let's test it out over here. It's slightly bigger in one dimension. It's definitely shorter. I'd have to say the medium slime is slab. Sheep, look away. Look away, sheep. Kind of hard to see your hitbox. And it's significantly taller. So it's not. No, what about a pig? What's it compared to pig? Slightly bigger than a. No, identical to the pig. In height. Slightly bigger box than the pig. I would probably group that in with the pig in terms of size. I understand it's a slightly bigger, but whoops. What's the other quote? There we go. And then for the biggest slime would be what? What was the entity format for slimes? No, they had a size variable or something along those lines. Yeah, they do. Let me make another pen over here just to. Summon slime here, size 3? Size 3, I believe. Yeah. Much bigger than any of these I already have out here. Where are they compared to a horse? Summon horse. What? the horses called? They're not called horse. What are they? Entity horse? Really? What name is that? Big slime wins. So let me double check something. Yeah, the sizes that spawn naturally 0, 1, and 3. Okay. Wait, really? Their eye level is actually below their eyes? That's interesting. Yeah, it's right below their eyes. It's not actually at eye... Okay. Mojang, fix your eye level box for horses. You're a few pixels off. And that compared to the cow, I'm sure is much, much larger. Yeah, significantly larger, so it would definitely be on this portion here with horse. Then slime 3. And that should actually be slime 1, I've realized, since that's the actual size of the slime. I understand it's from a mod, but they can still refactor the code and give it a new class name. Assuming that's how those entity names work. Regardless, they could have changed the entity name to just horse instead of entity horse. I think I'm done with the testing for the mobs here. Is there anything else I wanted to actually test? I wanted to test the rabbits and villagers. Those are gonna be... I think the rabbit's probably gonna be closer to the pig, I would think. Did I really summon the rabbit of, Bunnig? Actually, don't remember how to pronounce the name. Yeah, that rabbit is staring me down. Wow. It's gotta be that rabbit. That special rabbit. Definitely staring me down. Anyway, bounding box. Let's see, about the size of the ocelot, it looks like. At least in width and depth, or whatever you want to call that. Here's about another half slab, but would come in handy. Shorter than the ocelot's, it looks like. Yeah, the ocelot's box is higher up, even though it's further away. So it's shorter than the ocelot's, but the width and depth, the X and Z, if you will, bounding, is the same, more or less. So that would put them onto the sign here. Gotta go up a block. Text 2, rabbit. Text 3. Text 3 is ocelot. Alrighty. And then the villagers. If I had to guess, they're probably gonna be closer to these guys here. I know they're gonna be taller, but what about the width portion? Or let's go with Z. Z size. Does their box actually rotate with them at all? It does not. Alrighty, the Z size works perfectly fine then. It's a accurate representation of what that size is. Definitely thinner than the pig and the Z-axis. Let's see. Would that be closer to the bunny? Might be slightly bigger than bunny's Z size. Still staring me down as well. And the X would probably be the same. The Y is the one that's the big difference. The villagers are, what, roughly 2 blocks tall? Well, their hitbox is probably 2 blocks tall. Yeah, they're 2 blocks tall. Minus their top portion where they don't have a bounding box for. So 1.5 blocks tall for the bounding box, looks like. And maybe half a block by half a block. Volume-wise, that might be identical to the sheep here, which is roughly... It's a little... I think it's a little bigger than 1 by 1 by 1. It might be closer to the pigs then, for volume. Let me get myself a fishing rod. See how easy it would actually be to hit these guys from a distance, like say from up here. Alright, so I can actually pull that guy out pretty well, along with that guy. Sheep's pretty easy to hit as well. I mean, I know they're not moving too much, but it's whether or not I can actually get it. Wow, I actually got the silverfish one go. Alright. So if I was going to have the villagers in there as well, I'd probably put them up near this portion here, between the sheep and cow. No. Probably put them after the slime size. Or with no, I'd do it between the slime pig and the sheep. Villager, text 3, sheep. I've been commentating to people, or well, the Nat specifically, but I mean, what's the matter to you, Johnny? I already got that done, I guess. If I was going to give these people a score... Let's see, how many mobs are actually here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... I miscounted. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Given that these two are on the same board in terms of size, the rabbits and ocelot was roughly as well. I'd probably just count those as 1 score for them. So if I was actually to give these people a score, I'll go ahead and clear out below here. I would have to say 1 point for those. Horses, are you really that much easier to grab compared to the larger slime? Or rather, I should say, that much harder to grab? Probably not. Let's go with 1 point for them as well. The cows and sheep could maybe be worth 2 then, if I'm going to go with them. Yeah, I'll do 2 for the villager as well. Then for the rabbit and ocelot and the pig and slime, size 1. Three points. 3 points for the slime and pig. 4 points for the rabbit and ocelot. Sounds good to me. The chicken and magma cube. 5 points. Standard progression, I guess. And endermite and silverfish. Maybe 7 points, just because they're the smallest ones. And you can't push fishing rod a item entity as far as I'm aware. And these players, and well, not players, the mobs can go ahead and die. Done with testing with them for now. The next thing I need to do is figure out a way to figure out which entities are which in the holes. Preferably with a minimal amount of command blocks. Let's see, this is negative x, positive z. Let's go down a block, down 2 blocks to make a 3 deep. Did not do it exactly as I wanted it to. What did I miscount on? Oh, it was this one. Fill that back up. Alright, that should be the length of this. Yep. So this means that the mobs need to get into that hole from here. Let's see if that's even possible with the fishing rod. It should be. Go ahead and fill up some of that area. And extend this platform out just a bit so I can connect to it. Let's see, that goes up 10 blocks? Yeah, 10. From here down 1 block. Down 10 blocks and then 50 sandstone. What did I miss? Oh, forgot the Z. There we go. Got a backboard for them. Go ahead and get some more blocks in here. Actually, I want to test to see that mobs are actually able to be caught into that trap. Because if they're not, then I need to rethink this design just a bit. Where's the cow? There it is. Let's see if I can do it from here. Not quite. Of course, that cow's gonna freak out now. But if I did something like this, does it work? No. I'm gonna need a bit more distance, I believe. This might actually be harder than I thought it would be. Oh, that was close. And I killed the cow. I believe there's an invulnerability tag for them. No, there is one for... Oh yeah, there is. There's one for the with their skeleton skulls. Invulnerable 1. So I shouldn't be able to kill this guy with fall damage. Alright, yep. That worked. Let's go ahead and grab that cow, see if I can get him in the hole. Look for him to stop moving as well. Let me just do that. And the other thing I'm going to do is spam a bunch of them. Hopefully that's enough cows. I feel like I can actually make this work. I just gotta figure out how to actually get them over the lip. Oh. Oh, there we go. That one worked. Alright, so it's definitely doable. Definitely seems a bit harder than I thought it would be. Yeah, wow. Thought it'd be fairly easy to do it. Close. But, oh, was on the fence. Doesn't look like he hit inside. Would it be easier to do with silverfish or something, I wonder? Since they're smaller, they might be able to still take the fishing mechanics a bit easier than the cows can and not hit their head on the block. Wow. Might be slightly harder to hit the silverfish than I thought it would be. Alrighty, now my question is, if that was actually filled, what if it hit its head and not gone in? Let's go ahead and summon a few more silverfish. Give this another go. Come on, silverfish. The other thing I want to prevent as well is actually the mobs getting up to the player. I don't think they'd be able to get up to here, but I guess I'll have to figure that out during testing as well. Oh, that one got in. Saw the fall particles. Yeah, there's 2 silverfish in here now. For the team-based aspect of this, I might actually literally have multiple chambers. So once I get this one thing here set up, I could just copy this to another location using MC-Edit, and then use command blocks to put teams into their respective box. That way it's easier to keep track of, if you will. The other option is instead of doing the easy, medium, hard thing I mentioned earlier, it could be a side-based thing for the teams that might work as well. So like each team, up to 4 teams of course, would have one side to get the mobs into. That would actually work out better, considering that would allow other teams to kind of mess with each other add the competitive edge besides just trying to get the mobs into the hole with the fishing rod. I could actually offer both solutions in the final version of this. One where it's competitive and like a non-competitive option. But to give players more choice. I could do that. I don't think that would be a problem. Let me go ahead and put a sign somewhere to remind me of that. This corner over here looks good. By the way, if you're wondering at all, this plot is 100 by 100. Used MC Edit to like clone this area once I did that. Let's see, what do I want the sign to say? VP aspects, competitive, same cell, I'm just gonna name it non-C. Different cells. Cell being a playing. I realize I'm typoed playing area. I could probably turn off the bounding boxes. Those are getting slightly annoying. Already killed off some of them. Can head on in here. I could actually use this one timer for multiple mobs. The other thing I wonder is, can I randomize their spawn location to just a bit? Let's see, I could use the spread players command on the entities. I think that's the only way I could actually randomize them to some extent. Unless there's another way I can... Unless there's a command for that? Like, randomly spawn entity locations? I suppose I could go more like a brute force way, create a randomizer with redstone that sends a random signal off to a certain spawner group, command block spawner group, that actually does the spawning for that location, but those would be a bit more static locations and really random. Unless I literally had a spawning group for every single block under here and used a randomizer that did that, that would take a lot of redstone and a lot of redstone time. That would definitely be unnecessary in my opinion. Mess with the other player's hooks. How exactly? Considering the entity name is unknown, it's hard to target one, let alone modify it, because as you saw earlier, Nat, if I did anything with MBT data, it reset the hook. The only thing I can think of is targeting within a radius around the player, but that's about it. The only other way I could think of making that work at all is the individual cells idea, where like say you get 10 points, you could spend like 5 to reset one player's hook. Yeah, that could be done. The other thing I could do instead of messing with the hooks is mess with the players. Right. That's what I said. It's hard to target an entity name unknown